Hey guys, today I'm going to explain a movie named The Blackout. The story explains themes of power, deception, sacrifice, and the complexities of human nature. Now let's immerse ourselves in the tale and discover how the events unfold. As soon as he removes his mask, his face appears very strange. He claims that he alone can save their people and urges everyone to listen to him. The movie starts by showing a hotel in Moscow where a boy named Oleg is talking to his new friend. Bragging about himself, he tells her that he's an army officer with a lot of money. Impressed by his words, his friend becomes interested, and then they decide to get married soon. Meanwhile, a plane is preparing to take off but suddenly experiences engine failure. All the lights go out and the plane crashes to the ground. This incident is just the beginning as the entire world suddenly falls into chaos. All electrical devices stop working and the darkness envelops the globe. However, in the middle of the darkness, there is still a few places with electricity, and the Moscow city is one of them. On TV, the news reports that all communication with the outside world has been lost. No one knows the situation beyond the city, and outsiders are unaware if Moscow still has power. Oleg watches the news and suspects that this might be a terrorist attack. The areas without electricity are called blackout areas, while the places with power are referred to as light areas. In an attempt to assess the situation in blackout areas, the Moscow government sends drone cameras. Strangely, all the drones disappear en route. When soldiers arrive at the blackout areas, they are shocked by the gruesome scene. The blackout event caused the death of all living beings, including animals and human, in a bizarre manner. Corpses are scattered everywhere, giving the impression that the place has turned into an instant graveyard. As soldiers investigate, a stranger ambushes and attacks one of them. After injuring the soldier, the stranger takes his weapon and escapes at an incredible speed. Despite being fired upon, the bullets seem to have little effect on him. The soldiers realize that this man is no ordinary person and poses a great danger. A month passes and no one understands how this catastrophe occurred. The story now shifts to Oleg's friend, who is also a soldier. He lives with his ailing mother and reluctantly embarks on mission after receiving a letter from the army. The captain gathers all the soldiers and reveals that the bodies covered from the blackout areas were sent for testing. The reporters indicate that the victims died due to self-produced poison within their bodies. Some mysterious force compelled their bodies to generate lethal substance. As night falls, the soldiers set out for blackout area. Oleg, who intended to marry one of his friends, discovers that she is joining the mission as a doctor. Upon arrival, they engage in conversation when suddenly the emergency alarm sounds. The soldiers quickly assume their positions, pointing their guns towards the fence. The captain warns them that the animals from beyond the fence are rapidly approaching. All the animals attacking the soldiers were of the same kind, and they were all quite large in size. Without warning, these animals launched a fierce assault, inflicting severe injuries on the soldiers. In self-defense, the soldiers began shooting bullets at the attackers. The next morning, the situation was grim as the soldiers had lost their lives. It was discovered that the attacking animals were wild bears, but it was unclear why they had acted in a pack, as bears usually do not exhibit such behavior. Oleg was among the injured, and his doctor friend was treating him. Meanwhile, a boy admitted to a city hospital started experiencing sudden health deterioration. Unusual events had been occurring to him since the blackout. He heard voices from unknown people, and a bald man constantly harassed him. Since the blackout, this boy had acquired superpowers, possessing different abilities that manifested when he opened his eyes. He encountered another boy who claimed to be his friend, arriving to provide crucial information. According to him, the global situation resulted from an attack by strange waves. These waves comprised three types. The first wave damaged all electricity-dependent things, the second wave destroyed dangerous entities, and the third wave caused the most devastation. In this third wave, these hazardous waves could control people like puppets, forcing them to attack their own kind. Thus, people in the blackout area were still alive under the influence of these waves. The sick boy failed to comprehend this information. Instead, feeling troubled, he called for a guard to remove the other boy from his presence. However, when the guard arrived, he found no one physically present in the room because the conversation occurred telepathically. Due to these circumstances beyond their control, people from the dark area took the streets, causing haywalk and destruction. They even turned hostile towards the soldiers, suspecting a government conspiracy. Within the army camp, different soldier groups, including Oleg's and his friends, existed. The blackout area was in a dire state, with widespread destruction. The bridge had suffered extensive damage due to the plane crash, and numerous buildings lay in ruin. The first army helicopter, tanks, and vehicles were strewn about this toy. Oleg's friend, accompanied by a few soldiers, reached a town where the reporter joined them. The team of soldiers meticulously inspected the area, but several days passed without the encountering by any humans or corpses. While the boy with superpowers sat in the same place, a man named ID approached him. Initially concealing himself, ID revealed a very peculiar countenance when he removed his clothes, with the rest of his body resembling that of a human. He disclosed that he was not a human but an alien who resembled one. Someone is exploiting your superpowers and causing haywack throughout. You have been searching for this individual, and it turns out that the villain behind it all is none other than your own brother, an alien like yourself. During the blackout, you were trapped between the blackout area and the light areas, which granted you these powers. Before the boy could fully comprehend the situation, the captain and the soldiers arrived, pointing their guns at ID. However, cunning ID had already taken control of the soldiers' minds, causing them to perceive the captain as ID and vice versa. Their forms began to change, leading all the soldiers to aim their guns at the real captain. ID tells the captain that if anyone can save her people, it is him. He requests a quiet audience in the inquiry room to convey his message. ID explains that while humans reside in their own planet, his species also inhabit other planets. They possess the unique quality of not aging or dying unless killed by anyone else. Their planet's sun is on the verge of destruction and they're seeking a new planet. Earth was chosen, so he and his brother were sent to prepare the groundwork for the people's arrival. ID reveals that the aliens, including himself, constructed ancient structures like the pyramids on Earth around 200,000 years ago. He admits that he is good, but his brother that is evil and intends to exterminate the humanity. ID wants to stop his brother's nefarious plans. He discloses that within the next 48 hours, a massive spaceship will arrive on Earth. Before that, his brother will manipulate the people in the blackout area, turning them into puppets for his destructive agenda. The boy's earlier mention of the third wave was indeed accurate, created by ID's brother. The captain listens to these revelations and finds himself hard to believe. Meanwhile, Oleg's friend's team encounters a peculiar and enraged child in this area. Despite attempting to gather information, the child viscously stabs a soldier in the neck, prompting Oleg's friend to shoot the child in self-defense. The incident leaves the reporter deeply frightened. As night falls, the puppets from the blackout area under the influence of ID's brother launch an attack on the soldiers' teams. In defense, the soldiers fire their weapons, engaging in continuous combat against the puppet onslaught. Casualties mount among Oleg's friends' group, prompting them to signal for help by firing the gun towards the army camp. Two other soldier groups also shoot flare guns, causing distress among the camp's inhabitants, who are uncertain whom to assist. As the captain learns about these dire circumstances, she becomes convinced that ID's claims are true as events align with his words. The captain has no other choice but to agree to ID's help. ID informs the captain that they will need the powerful boy to locate his brother. Once he kills his brother, ID will gain control over all the puppets and put a stop to their actions. The captain, accompanied by ID, heads to the army base where Oleg's friend's team were under a massive attack, resulting in the death of all except two survivors, Oleg's friend and the reporter. The number of puppets has increased significantly, so they decide to regroup from the remaining soldiers to face them together. ID instructs the powerful boy to focus and help them to see the visions of their real brother's location. They discover that he's on the roof of a large building controlling the puppets and orchestrating their actions. As they're about to leave, they learn that the puppets have also attacked the light area, indicating the beginning of third wave's attack. Without wasting any time, the captain and ID depart with the powerful boy. However, the boy becomes anxious, fearing that ID's brother have seen him and will try to kill him. He pleads with ID to take him along, but ID assures him that he will be safe in the base and insists he stays behind. The captain and ID depart with the powerful boy, but shortly after, ID's brother discovers the boy's location in the army base. He sends numerous missiles to destroy the base, but despite the soldiers' efforts, they fail to stop him due to their overwhelming numbers. The captain witnesses the destruction of their entire army base, resulting in the deaths of all the soldiers, the powerful boy, and everyone present. Angered and saddened, the captain points her gun at ID, questioning why he allows this to happen by leaving the boy behind. ID explains that only a few individuals possesses the ability to save humanity, and his brother had already taken aware of the powerful boy's location. If they had taken the boy with them, they would all be perished. Thus, he made the difficult decision to leave him behind. The next day, Oleg finds his friend and the reporter relieved to see each other alive, and they embrace. The captain reunites with them, accompanied by her soldiers. Without wasting any more time, they set out for the building where ID's brother is controlling the puppets. On their journey, the puppets attempt to impede their progress. The soldiers, disregarding their own lives, press on, crushing the puppets with the tanks and enraging in combat. Some puppets even attach bombs to themselves and hurl themselves on the soldiers, attempting to explode and cause harm. After facing numerous challenges and evading the puppets, the group finally reaches the building. ID and a group of soldiers proceed to the top of the building, where others remain below to confront the puppets in battle. Oleg's friend stands face to face with ID's brother, ready to launch an attack. He throws his brother far away with a single attack, and ID proceeds to confront his brother. A fierce fight ensues between the two brothers, with both displaying immense powers and size. Sparks fly from their hands with each punch, demonstrating their incredible strength. Meanwhile, Oleg and the remaining soldiers face immense difficulty, battling the countless puppets who continuously attack them, even resorting to use a oil-filled truck to cause a massive explosion. Despite their efforts, only few soldiers remain, and they decide to make their way upstairs. As the puppet converges on the building, ID delivers a powerful punch to his brother, extracting his heart, which appears to be a device due to alien nature. ID plants a bomb in his brother's heart, resuming in his demise. With his brother defeated, ID gains control over all the puppets and eliminates them with a single attack. Although the survivors have won the war, their victory is overshadowed by the millions of innocent lives lost on the streets. The devastation is heart-wrenching, and ID accuses humanity of lacking love and mercy, stating that his brother's intent to exterminate them was not entirely unfolded. ID reveals his true motive, expressing a desire to help humanity and to be seen as their healer and even their god. He believed that if he was revered as such, humans would live peacefully, allowing aliens to coexist with them. The powerful boy angrily confronts ID, accusing him of knowing everything but failing to prevent the blackout. ID explains that if he had stopped the blackout, people would no longer fear death or believe in him. He also dismisses the value of other lives except for the boy, as he considered himself the healer and god of humanity. The revelation angers everyone, and Oleg's friend aims a gun at ID, but Oleg's other friend re-intervenes, realizing that millions of aliens are on their way. Killing ID would prevent them from stopping the others. While the group argues, the boy attacks ID with a knife, but ID controls the boy's mind, causing him to stab the captain instead. The captain, who had been under the impression that ID was the boy, is killed. Oleg, consumed by anger, attempts to kill ID, but his friend stops him, leading to a fight between the two. The reporter takes the gun and injures Oleg's friend to protect Oleg. ID takes advantage of the situation, transforming into various forms of Oleg's father to manipulate his emotions. However, the boy recognizes the real form of ID and jumps off the building, taking ID with him and causing both of them to die. Now only 4 people remain, ready to confront the incoming aliens. Soon, a massive alien spaceship arrives and they enter it, discovering numerous chambers housing sleeping aliens. As the lights turn on and a peculiar liquid begins to move, reviving the aliens, Oleg takes action and uses the limited bullet to kill them before they fully awaken. With little time and no ammunition left, they use a hammer to break the oxygen main pipe, effectively killing the remaining aliens in their sleep. Only a few chambers are left, containing innocent alien children. Reminded of ID's statement about the lack of love and mercy in humans, they decide not to harm the children and leave them to let them be. Shortly after, the children emerge from the chambers, resembling ID without any danger. The movie concludes with these 4 survivors now faced with the challenge of dealing with the children of aliens and the aftermath of alien invention.